What do you make of John Farnham allowing his iconic hit song, You're the Voice, to become the official anthem of the Yes campaign?
Look, for memory's sake, I was there when it was released. Unfortunately, that's how old I am. But, you know, when I've been out in between sitting weeks, the last couple of weeks, this actually would be a better anthem for the no case, I think, rather than the yes. I mean, third line, we've got to make ends meet. That's all people have been talking about, is the cost of living. And, you know, the Voice, try and understand it. I think Australians want to understand it. They want to try and understand what the Prime Minister's trying to achieve. But the facts are that this is going to be divisive. It's going to be permanent. And instead of uniting the country, which this anthem seeks to do, we're all someone's daughter, we're all someone's son. I mean, Australians are all equal under law, all considered equal within our constitutional arrangements, and this Voice question before them on the 14th of October will fundamentally change that. So, you know, each their own. A lot of my favourite artists in Australia are with the Yes campaign, but so are all the rich and famous. It seems as if you are in rural and remote communities, if you're in the Australian suburbs struggling to pay your mortgage, this government's talking about some esoteric voice for certain Australians, making them have more rights, shall we say, and more impact than you will. So I think it's it's disappointing, but everybody in this referendum has to make up their own mind, and it seems the rich and famous are voting yes.
Let's switch topics. Qantas was in the spotlight. What do you think of Qantas rewarding $10 million in bonus shares to outgoing CEO Alan Joyce for navigating the airline through the COVID pandemic?
Oh, Jenny, I was able to prosecute Mr Joyce in a Senate inquiry last week, and very, very disappointed that whilst he's got a very cosy relationship with his board, the fact that the business can run at a loss and he can clock his bonuses and have them paid at some future date when the business suddenly turns a profit. It's just an incredible, cosy relationship. Also on flight credits, tens of thousands of Australians had COVID flight credits, their own money, sitting on the Qantas balance books, with Qantas basically saying use it or lose it by the 31st of December, which was absolutely untenable. I called it out for what it was, and the Prime Minister had to be dragged kicking and screaming to simultaneously say, pay it back, Qantas, it's not your money. I mean, then we had the backflip by Jim Chalmers. The government had chosen to rule the aviation industry out of their competition review when we know prices are going up, when we know cancellations and delays are getting worse, not better. So they had to do a backflip on that. And then you've got the Qatar decision. I mean, it's just beggars belief. 7 different reasons we got last week on why the government chose to not increase competition into international flights, to put downward pressure on prices, but also to assist our exporters and our tourism industry. It just doesn't make sense. So very, very disappointed in the government and the way they have chosen to run a protection racket for Qantas. I don't know, I don't agree with Wayne Swan very often, but I absolutely do agree with him that this decision needs to be reviewed. And I think the Prime Minister needs to listen to his Treasurer a little bit more.
All right, Senator McKenzie, we do have to wrap it up, but I wanted to just quickly ask you one more story. AEMO this week, another big one, moving to bolster emergency defences against summer blackouts. There's a high chance of El Nino and other weather factors showing that we are potentially in for warmer and hotter than average temperatures as we head into the warmer months. We're hearing delays in renewables. How concerned are you about the lights staying on?
I'm incredibly concerned, but we've been talking about this for years. You know, the laws of physics and the laws of economics still apply. We are running an experiment under this government when it comes to energy security, simultaneously turning off our reliable power generation, refusing to consider something like nuclear, and meanwhile saying it's all got to be renewable when it actually isn't ready and can't come online. So unfortunately, it's going to be the Australian people and our businesses that bear the brunt of blackouts and skyrocketing power prices as a result of the Labor Party ignoring the simple laws of economics and physics.